Before you head out to do your back-to-school shopping, do an inventory to see if you have supplies at home that can still be used. You should also do book exchange and most definitely compare prices. Continue watching the show for more tips from the Consumer Affairs Commission. Hello, I'm Sandra Clark. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine.
More life.
More memories.
More moments.
Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, August 8. Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw has announced an increase in the cocoa price payable to farmers. The price per box will move from $2,600 to $3,000. Minister Shaw made the announcement on Monday during the 67th Annual Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show in Maypen, Clarendon.
The price has gone up, but we're not stopping there. We have to grow more. And the same thing with our coffee as well.
He also announced that the current measures being implemented to manage and control the outbreak of the frosty pod rot of cocoa disease would be revamped. This includes placing a stop on the current process of pruning the cocoa plants, which destroys approximately 90% of the tree.
I have ordered it stopped. Stopped. You know why? Because there is technology elsewhere, including Colombia. And since I ordered it stopped, I sent a team to Colombia. They pruned the tree no more than 10%. And they have found a way to control the frosty pod disease.
More work is underway this year to build and expand schools in order to eliminate the shift system and relieve overcrowding.
Already started this year are the following schools that are being attended to. The Cedric Titus High, the Exchange All-Age School, Mushet High, Albert Town High, Old Harbor High, and Friendship Primary.
Minister Carl Samuda, who was giving his sectoral presentation in Parliament recently, said all schools would be removed from the system by 2024. To end the shift system in the remaining 37 schools, he said 13 of them would require expansion, while 10 new high schools and 7 primary schools were needed. In the meantime, government is this year recruiting more special education teachers to meet the growing needs of students with special needs. In addition, $1.2 billion has been allocated to the Special Education Unit, which makes provisions for students with various physical and learning impairments.
The Special Education Unit operates a Braille and large print program which reproduces print material for persons who are blind or visually impaired, which is an enormously important program. Large print services are also available for students who have deficiencies in vision in regular schools.
Students with special needs are educated in the general school setting or in public, grant-aided or independent special education institutions. Support is also given to community-based organizations that offer early intervention and community-based rehabilitation to students with disabilities. The Consumer Affairs Commission is urging persons to be diligent in their back-to-school shopping. Communications specialist at the Commission, Dorothy Campbell, says while going the route of one-stop shopping is convenient, it is not always the best way. She was speaking on JIS's Current Affairs program, Get the Facts, recently.
The first thing that the Consumer Affairs Commission advises parents to do is to shop at home first. So you do your research at home, because going out to shop means that you would have done your comparative shopping. You've already located the best prices, where you're going to buy what.
Ms. Campbell says the Consumer Affairs Commission is currently preparing its annual textbook survey. This includes going through the approved list from the Ministry of Education to ensure it matches book lists that are issued by schools.
For field officers or survey officers go to the bookstores to verify availability, and price. Once we have done that, we then determine the publication. It will be published partially on our website at www.cac.gov.jm, and we are hoping to partner with some publications to ensure that consumers are able to get that. But we say to parents, they can call us.
Improvements to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's offices and facilities are far advanced. The work is being undertaken on several of the ministry's locations to provide greater accessibility and comfort for internal and external clients. It includes the construction of a new office in St. Anne, which is on track for completion in December. Minister of Labour and Social Security Shahini Robinson says drawings for the renovation of the NIS office at 18 Ripon Road has also been finalized and the contract will be put to tender shortly.
The main offices of the Labour Division of the Ministry is located at 1F North Street. The building was in need of extensive repairs on the exterior. Those repairs are almost completed.
Work is also progressing on the Overseas Employment Center on East Street and a new arm of the Industrial Disputes Tribunal in St. James.
I'm pleased to report that a lease has been signed and the contract for the renovation has also been signed. IDT West will soon become a reality.
Minister Robinson was delivering her sectoral presentation in Parliament recently. And finally, Minister with Responsibility for Gender Affairs, Olivia Grange, says the model of the Women's Centre of Jamaica Foundation has been successfully studied and replicated in several countries, including Kenya, Guyana, Grenada, and St. Kitts and Nevis. She made the disclosure on Monday during a tour of the facility with First Lady of Kenya, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, and wife of the Governor-General, Lady Allen.
With such an impressive rate of success, the Women's Centre of Jamaica Foundation has been recognized worldwide as an international best practice. The United Nations Population Fund in 2013 State of the World Population Report praised the Women's Centre of Jamaica Foundation as a great example of Jamaica offering to the world, and I quote, a model for preventing adolescent pregnancy and supporting young mothers.
First Lady Margaret Kenyatta commended the Women's Centre for helping approximately 46,000 teen mothers complete their secondary education.
This institution is indeed a true model for learning and replication. I know that keeping our girls in school directly lowers the rate of maternal mortality. It also protects the girls who are most vulnerable from the new emerging issues of adolescent HIV.
The tour was part of the itinerary of Mrs. Kenyatta, who joined her husband, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, on a 3-day state visit to Jamaica. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet. The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Haven't done your back-to-school shopping yet? The Consumer Affairs Commission has a few suggestions.
So we're in back-to-school shopping period, you know. Everybody's out now shopping, busy. What are some of the advice? What advice will you give people who are shopping now for school books, for shoes, for all the things you need for your children?
Well, the first thing that the Consumer Affairs Commission advises parents to do is to shop at home first. So you do your research at home, because going out to shop means that you would have done your comparative shopping. You've already located the best prices, where you're going to buy what, because the one-stop shop sounds convenient, but it's not always the best way to go about it. So what we try to do is we offer the annual textbook survey, which is the database comes from the Ministry of Education. It gives us all the approved texts. We then verify those texts in terms of publication, edition, etc. And then we go, we have our field officers, our survey officers go to the bookstores to verify availability and price. Once we have done that, we then determine the publication and we do our analysis. The research department, they're working very hard right now to go through the data to ensure that the books that they have are the books that have been approved, and even the approved list matches back to the list that the schools
So edition 15, you have to buy that because edition 14 will be different.
Exactly.
Yes. Where can persons access the textbook survey?
Well, that has not yet been published, but it will be published partially on our website at www.cac.gov.jm, and we are hoping to partner with some publications to ensure that consumers are able to get that. But we say to parents, they can call us and we can access whatever parish, location, bookstore for the prices on their behalf.
Let's move now to buying shoes. When we're buying shoes for the children, we should not go. There are some tips not to go in the evening or what else?
Yes, we normally ask consumers to be wise about shoe shopping, because what happens is that the body functions in a weird kind of way, especially in the summer. And the kids, they're playing football, they're doing everything, the feet are swollen.
Right.
So they fit differently in the evening than in the morning.
And always take the child with you.
And
it's
always take the child with you, because they do their growth spurts in the summer.
Yes.
So you might think you have a size 6 when you go, it's a size 7. So
to prevent having to return an item, and I talk about is there a returns policy?
There's not a general return
policy. Because you know what, I went to buy something last week, and the person in the store told me, I cannot return it. I said, what if I take it? So it doesn't work. Can I take it back? She frankly said, she just said no.
Well, there's no general return policy that we can impose on a vendor. However, if you have bought an item and that item does not function in the manner in which it was, then the CAC will step in and say to that vendor, the consumer has a right.
Yes. Not if you don't like it, if you don't like it again.
No, we don't arbitrarily defend the consumer on just a trivial thing as I don't like the color or I changed my mind or no.
But if it doesn't function.
But if it doesn't function or it's a substandard good. So it takes a matter of reasonableness between the vendor and the consumer. And very often, that's how we get to intervene. Yes. And we resolve issues based on just reasoning with the vendor to say, you need your customers.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you for having me.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Are you one of those persons who refuse a receipt that's been given by the cashier? Well, that's not a good idea, as this piece of paper holds a lot of value.
Serve. Be a pound of flour and a tin of mackerel there. How much that?
120.
120. Respect.
Yeah, man. Yo, my general, see you left a receipt.
John knows them thing there.
Yeah, man.
So, for this. Respect.
The law is clear. Without a receipt, there is no proof of purchase. It doesn't matter the situation or the type of item purchased. A receipt guarantees compensation in the event something goes wrong with your purchase. The Consumer Protection Act, the CPA, speaks specifically to this, the use of receipts during transactions being a duty of the vendor and the consumer. Section 20 of the Act stipulates that the receipt is your legal proof of purchase to be used in arranging a refund where needed.
Shop around, check the products thoroughly before you pay over. Ensure after you've paid that you receive a receipt.
Yes, comparative shopping cannot be overemphasized, especially in tight economic times. Customers have to ensure the quality of the product before hard-earned money is handed over. Otherwise, in some cases, you might as well be flushing those dollars down the drain. And if there is a defect, the justice system or the Consumer Affairs Commission may not be able to help you get assistance of any sort if you do not have a receipt.
We admonish consumers to ensure at all times that you have a footing to stand on if something goes wrong. And that is why we encourage you to get a receipt once you have done any business.
But within the Jamaican shopping context, with street-side deals, corner shops, and other instances of informal selling, the use of a receipt is often abandoned. In those cases, the CAC warns the consumer is pretty much not covered, legally speaking, that is. But there are ways to resolve this.
In cases where a receipt is not available, take your receipt book with you and have the vendor sign the receipt book as a way to protect yourself.
Would you like a receipt?
No, thank you.
Okay. Wrong move, says the authorities. According to CAC surveys, motorists often opt not to accept or request a receipt because the process is time-consuming. But motorists are implored to request receipts for petrol purchases to facilitate easy resolution if a discrepancy occurs, such as being overcharged.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Total.
Good afternoon. May I get 2090? And may I have a receipt, please?
2090 and a receipt? Sure, no problem.
Here are the legal guidelines that constitute a valid receipt.
And that receipt should bear the name of the provider, the date on which the transaction took place, what was purchased or what service was used, the cost, and the cost attached.
The receipt could also show the vendor's contact information and description of the product, that is, the goods or services being sold. The price can either be written out or printed in numerals. Both are sometimes used in order to avoid ambiguity. And vendors, to protect your business in the event a dispute arises, keep a copy of all receipts and sign receipts if they do not bear the logo of your organization. The receipt can be valid for up to 6 years. So, to get justice in the event of a transaction gone wrong, the next time you pay for goods or services, collect your receipt.
Excess salt in your diet increases blood pressure and contributes to kidney damage, gastric cancer, obesity, osteoporosis, and the worsening of asthma. Aim to have no more than 3 to 6 grams of salt, or half of 1 teaspoon per day. And children under 11 years of age should consume less than this. Get healthy. Reduce the salt. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service and the Ministry of Health.
Up next, Measures by the blood bank to ensure the blood donated is safe for transfusion.
As long as man is around to get sick or injured, blood will remain a high-demand substance for health practitioners. But for all its wonderful properties, the life-saving bodily fluid could become a death sentence if not handled properly. For those who need their supplies boosted, health workers cannot simply hook up a needle and feed the red and white cells from another individual straight to the needy bloodstream.
It's not just a simple matter of collecting blood, finding out what the group is, and then passing it on to the recipient. There are lots of other things that go into providing safe blood.
Think of blood like a home. Certain fundamental things like walls, floors, and ceilings are common to all, but the little things you put in over the years and experiences you have within those spaces make each unique to its owner. Like your home, blood can change owners, but you have to make some adjustments to have it meet the needs of the new recipient. That is what the technicians and health workers have to do before blood that is donated can be passed on to someone in need. The first step is to screen the donor to determine their medical history and suitability to donate.
The screening is aimed at 1, protecting the donor, and 2, protecting the potential recipient.
After that, it's a matter of sterilizing the donor's arm and proceeding to draw the blood. From there, the blood is taken to the lab, where it goes through a series of tests. Technicians look for things like blood groupings such as A, B, O, and Rh types, antibodies in the red blood cells, venereal diseases such as syphilis, HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, hepatitis B and C, which affect the liver, and HTLV, human T-cell lymphotropic virus type 1 and 2, a virus that weakens the immune system. At the island's blood bank, the National Blood Transfusion Service, tests such as these are carried out daily. For each unit of blood drawn, 2 sample tubes are also collected. These are referred to as the red and purple top. For accuracy, data on the tubes must correspond with the main bag. The purple top sample is used to screen for antibodies and blood groupings. Blood grouping is just as important as the infectious screening. This ensures compatibility for the recipients, that is, people of the same blood group receiving the same blood type.
We do our ABO grouping here at the blood bank using the Diamed system. This technology is a gel system. It has microtubules, otherwise we call it as wells, and it has our anti-serum already in these wells.
A drop of the donor blood is placed into each of these wells. It is incubated and put in a machine that spins the substance at a high speed. After this process, a reading is given.
This is an example of a blood group. We can read it macroscopically. This is reading O negative based on the cells that are seen here.
In VDRL testing, which checks for syphilis, a small amount of the serum or the white part of the blood is dropped into a tube and then incubated at 56 degrees Celsius. After 30 minutes, it is taken from the incubator, placed on a slide, mixed with an antigen, and then rotated at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. The slide is then placed under a microscope for reading. A positive sample for syphilis would show signs of lumps or flocculation. Samples from the main lab are taken over here for the human immunodeficiency virus HIV screening, as well as the human T-cell lymphotropic virus HTLV and hepatitis B and C screenings. The different reagents or chemical compound for each of these viruses are added to the blood samples and placed in this machine. The reagent will cause a color change to the sample, indicating a positive reading.
Basically, it interprets this color change to a numerical value, which we can quantitate. Either if it's positive, it tells us the degree of positivity based on the numerical value, and if it's negative, we also get a numerical value, but we also have a cutoff value which can tell us whether it's negative or positive.
Whole blood is never administered as part of safety measures. The whole blood is separated into components: red blood cells or packed cells, plasma, or white cells.
If you had a patient who was anemic, who is in heart failure, and you gave whole blood, you're giving that person a lot of plasma unnecessarily. They really need the packed cells component. Not only is it unnecessary, but you put them at added risk of making the heart failure worse. So it is important to give just the component that is required.
And the safety procedure doesn't end there. A cross-matching process is also done to identify minor blood groups that might interfere with a successful transfusion process. But once all the tests are done to satisfaction and the separation process is completed, you can rest assured that the blood to be administered is safe.
We're taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The plea bargain legislation has been passed. Many persons charged with serious crimes are spending several years behind bars. It did not have to happen. Accept responsibility for your wrongdoing. Get a lighter sentence. Watch your children grow. Please, don't gamble with your future.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
As we close today's show, we ask that you stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Sandra Clark. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.